All right, ladies, this is Alex from Mindful Attraction. I'm making sure the video is good. So I'm looking at my phone right now. So I want to make sure the video is good. 1 second. All right, good. All right. So I want to make this video because it's actually very interesting. Um, by the way, if you guys enjoy the video, you can donate to the channel. Do a chat. If you guys wanna, I actually have a one only for today, an online meditation. I'm selling an online meditation, guided meditation for today only for today. So it's on the link below. Go to my website, go to products, and in the product section, you're gonna see the guided meditation only for today. I'm putting it down today. I'm taking it down today and tomorrow, but just only for today. All right. So I wanted to talk about, and also my online course and one-on-one coaching, link below, and monthly coaching, link below. So I wanted to talk about compatibility. I mean, chemistry does not equal compatibility. And why is that? Look, man, in my experience and in a lot of my clients' experience, sometimes they value more the chemistry than the compatibility itself. Look, man, it's one of the hardest things to accept. It really is one of the hardest things to accept. But sometimes just because you feel chemistry doesn't mean they feel chemistry. We've all been there where we like someone and we just don't feel the same way. And it feels like they're talking to us from another dimension. It's like, dude, what's you thinking about me in that way? Dude, what are you talking about, bro? Like, don't think of me that way. I'm not that kind of person. It's like I was looking at someone. But that's how it is, right? Where we like someone and you guys get along. But maybe he's married. Maybe he has kids. And maybe he wants to work it out too. But you're in the relationship and he's in the relationship and you guys have that chemistry. But you guys are in a relationship. You guys are gonna literally break up to get together. It is not compatible. It cannot be done that way. You could be you guys could have perfect chemistry, but you guys are long distance and you guys rarely see each other, but you guys like each other. You're wasting your time, man. Just because you guys have the chemistry doesn't mean you guys are compatible. Compatibility beats all things. Beats all things. Look, bro, just because I like my boy, my homie, doesn't mean I'm fucking him. We have chemistry, but we're not compatible to be together. You see what I'm saying? That's how it is. I get a lot of those clients, man, where they're talking to a dude and they have amazing chemistry, but he's not in the stage where he wants a relationship, and she's in the stage where she wants a relationship. Perfect chemistry, but just not compatible, you know? So you have a dude who's 20 years old and she's 15. You got that chemistry, but not compatible. Don't go to jail. Don't go to jail. Right? I'm just kidding with that one, right? But essentially though, man, like you have to be realistic, man, and let's say you're talking to a dude and you guys are just friends with benefits. And he cheat and he cheats, but you don't care because you guys are just friends with benefits, and suddenly you start having emotions for him and you guys get along, but he's a cheater. He's a cheater. Let's say you're talking to a dude and he's your friend's ex-boyfriend, and for some reason you guys get along very well, but he's your friend's ex-boyfriend and she's still not over him. Just because you feel compatible, that chemistry is no excuse to go forward with it. It is no excuse. See, this is one of the hardest things, man. This is one. I think it's the most difficult one to accept. Because it's there. You feel the chemistry. You feel like it's very difficult for you to find somebody that you like, and when you find someone, you want to make it work, but chemistry isn't the only thing, unfortunately. You could be friends with somebody, be real good friends with somebody, you guys have amazing chemistry, but he fucked your girlfriend. You guys let's say you can easily forgive him, but guess what? You guys are not compatible. You guys cannot be friends. You don't trust him no more. There's no compatibility there. Sucks, man. So it's kind of like if you were a dude and he cheats on you and you guys have a kid together, right? But he cheated on you. and the chemistry is there, but you want to make it work. But when somebody cheats on you, man, when somebody cheats on you, it's over. You can't trust them. People never do things just once. That is one of the truths that I got from the book from Robert Greene. People never do things just once. You know, so if somebody cheats on you once, they'll cheat on you again. You know, so it's very difficult for that, man, because you can have that chemistry. And again, this is one of the things that's very difficult to understand because your emotions are involved. You know, you feel that chemistry, man. But why am I saying this? Because I get a lot of those clients in my coaching calls, in my email coaching, and my monthly coaching. You know, and with guys too, and with myself too. That you see a girl, and or you see a guy and you like him, he reminds you of somebody, um, and you want it to work because you guys are good friends, you guys get along, but getting along isn't the only factor. There's a lot of things. You know, he might have completely different goals from you. He might want kids and you might not want kids. Just because you guys are good together doesn't mean it's compatible, because the fact that you want kids and he doesn't, that's gonna affect it. You know, let's say you're someone who's ambitious and he's a fucking bum. And you guys have chemistry. You're gonna try and help them out, but you can't really change people. How many families have drug addicts that they're trying to help, but they don't want help? So you're gonna try that with a stranger, try to help him out with Tony Robbins. If he's a loser now, you're not gonna change him to not be a loser, man. You can only encourage what's already in there. If he's a loser now, he wants to be better. You could encourage that part, but you cannot make him want to be better. You can only lead by example. Show your commitment to your work. And if he doesn't follow that lead, you can't change him. You guys are not compatible. Stop trying to fix what's broken. You're wasting your time, man. You're wasting your time. Compatibility is not is trumps chemistry. You know? And again, it sucks, man. It really sucks. Because sometimes it just don't like you. Again, this is just isn't when it's two-way, when both of you guys are perfect for each other, but that you guys are just not compatible. This is when you feel the chemistry and they don't, you know? And you gotta accept that they just don't like you. And you gotta deal with it. You gotta accept it. They just don't like you. This is part of life, man. In life you're gonna have a lot of regrets in life. You're gonna look back and have a lot of on loose strings, you know, and there are gonna be times when you're sitting and you're gonna think about those times. Think about the things you didn't get to have. Think about those unfulfilled emotions, unfulfilled dreams, and you're just gonna have to deal with it, man. You can't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself. You know, it's even harder when both of you guys feel the chemistry, because it's easier when it's just you. It's just you. You know, you have no other choice but to let them go suffer. But when both of you guys are attracted to each other, but you guys are just not compatible, you guys argue a lot, that's a little hard, man. You know, you might get the satisfaction of being with them, but pain of being with them poisons you slowly. It poisons you slowly. It changes the way you see yourself, because you're in a toxic relationship. You see, people who are in toxic relationship are with people who they possibly feel chemistry, but you guys you're more submissive, he's more of an angry, narcissistic person, or the opposite way around, where she's just the narcissistic and the dude is a submissive one. Ah, man, it's a sad thing, because it's not a happy thing. Because realize, I know when I say this, what you automatically think of is, it's like hearing you have a disease. You can't change it. It's one of the hardest things. You just have to let time deal with it. And these are things that I have to deal with as well, you know, and you have to. Welcome to the club. Take a seat. There's a seat over here for you, dude or girl. Seat over here. Oh man, it's not easy, man. Okay, man. Yeah, motherfuckers don't donate, man. We've seen channels, people donate to other channels, but this channel, disappointing you guys. All right, people. This is Alex from Mindful Attraction Network. If you guys want one-on-one coaching, go to mindfulattraction.org/endgame coaching. And a lot of people are asking me why am I not making a lot of videos. I'm busy. I have a lot of things on my plate. This is just some of the things I've been working on. I've been drawing a lot. So this is something that I'm not finished with it, but hopefully I can finish by this week or so. So I've been learning how to draw. So it's been fun, you know, keeps me distracted and stuff like that. But this is how the cookie crumbles, people. You won't always get your way in life, you know. You won't always go your way, you know. I'll show you a little bit more. And again, I'm showing you guys this because I do talk about mastery and about learning how to draw, speeding up learning, transforming yourself through your goals, finding your purpose. And this is my quote unquote purpose, I suppose, because I gotten decent at it. Look, actually one of my favorite ones. Look at that one. It's kind of, you know, it's good. I mean, it's a lot of mistakes. I could definitely do much better with I could definitely do better with values and stuff like that. But for now, we got a huge dip. Here's another one. The face is not that good, but that's okay. You know, I'm just, you know. All right, people. Oh, we got Carla sending a donation. Thank you. Hopefully I could, you know, start selling my art within 5 years or so. I'm gonna start, not 5 years, within 2 years or so. I'm gonna start selling my art. Hopefully I could put on my fucking website. I'll be like, look, pay me $50, I'll draw a portrait of you. So I'm gonna start doing that, putting my services to work and stuff like that. All right, look, I'm out, man. You guys be safe. Do some motherfuckers. And thank you, Carla, for the donation. Let me see if you wanted to say something. Oh, she just sent me a heart. Isn't that nice? Right? Thank you so much. Very well appreciated. Yeah, man. Look, man. Those I told you guys. There's a reason. I mean, for me, there was a reason why I was attracted to the book Mastery. You know, and it's the book. The reason why I started drawing, for those who don't know, I started drawing because I was into the book Mastery. I was very fascinated by it. You guys know that if you guys follow me. And I always say that if you like something, it's because there's something in you that wants you to continue reading that. If you like it, continue reading it. Don't move on to another book. So I kept reading it. And then I found out that the book Mastery was based on Leonardo da Vinci. Because Robert Greene called him the greatest master of them all. So then I was like, well, if I love this book, Mastery, yeah, I'm definitely gonna love the book. I'm definitely gonna love Leonardo da Vinci's biography. So then I bought his biography on audiobook when I was in Amsterdam, and Jesus fucking Christ, man, I was a fucking shock listening to that book. I have never been so. It felt like I was in a time machine listening to that book. Like it really felt like I was in a time machine, and I felt like I was there. It felt like I was next to Leonardo and getting to know him and understanding the way he thinks. It was one of the weirdest experiences listening to that book. And as I was out, I was in Amsterdam too, so I was like looking at all the beautiful architecture, and I was like, holy shit, this is gorgeous. And as I was reading that book, I was like, man, like Leonardo was just fascinating. It just made me want to draw, you know. And then I found out that Leonardo died when he was 64. So I'm like, wow, when he was 64 and when he was 28, he was making masterpieces. You know, he was 28 years old and he began drawing. He began painting when he was 12 and drawing when he was 8. You know, so I'm like, so he had almost like a 50-year career. And then I was looking at myself, I was like, interesting. How old am I right now? I was 27. And I was like, I'm 27. Most likely I'm going to live longer than Leonardo. Most likely. So I'm like, if it took him 20 years to create a masterpiece, and he's a human, and I sort of believe that you could do anything you set your mind to it. Not that I'll be Leonardo, don't fucking get me wrong, but to even attempt to want to be as great as him will put you in, you will end up in a higher plane as opposed to you not wanting to be as good as him simply because you're afraid of it. So I was like, well, fuck it, let me start drawing. And I began drawing. You know, like I began drawing in Amsterdam. It was a shitty drawing, but I was like, fuck it, let me just start drawing. And I noticed that when I drew, I focused, and time would fly, and I was like, holy shit, this is something that I could do. And I began drawing and didn't stop, you know. And it's something that I do a minimum 3 hours a day, and do it a lot, and pretty intensely, to be quite honest with you, pretty intensely. It's not just halfway. I'm like intensely doing it for some reason, you know. And reading that biography was shocking. Thank you, Elizabeth Gedevin, for the $20 donation. Well appreciated. And then I began reading Michelangelo's biography, the Agony and the Ecstasy, and that even shocked me even more. Like, Michelangelo shocks me not because of his intellectual genius, even though he was a genius. That dude was a man. I have no words for that man. No words for Michelangelo. It's shocking, absolutely shocking. Like, let me show you my favorite. I'm gonna put you guys into it. This is the book on the Agony and the Ecstasy, and this is the chapter when Michelangelo was building the Sistine Chapel. And just listen to the poetic language that describes his commitment. What I love about Michelangelo is his commitment to art. It's something that I cannot comprehend. I cannot comprehend how a human being could be so committed and love something so intensely as Michelangelo loved art. It's shocking to me. It's shocking, like shocking. Just listen to this. It's. And when I listen to this, it's like I can't compare. Like I could listen to Leonardo's biography and sort of relate to Leonardo, but Michelangelo, man, it's inhuman. Just listen to this. It's inhuman. Just listen to this. Let me know if you guys can hear it well.
Scout 15. He returned to his scaffold, determined that nothing should further divert him.
Mind you, he was building the Sistine Chapel, and things kept distracting him. People, the Pope, Pope Nicholas, they kept distracting him. So now he's back, and he's like, fuck all of these distractions. I'm going to focus on it. And mind you, Michelangelo wasn't just, you got to realize though, the Sistine Chapel, when you think of painting, he's not like this. He's painting like this. He developed scoliosis. He developed neck problems. Every joint in his body was aching. So when you think about this, don't just think about him painting. Just add 10 times difficulty simply because he's uncomfortable. I mean,
neither troubles in his place dimensional as those who walk the earth. The force to create them must come from within himself. It would take days with demoniacal energy to imbue each individual character with an authentic anatomy, mind, spirit, and soul.
Like, yeah, think about it. It's 300 different things he has to paint. And each one, he has to put every ounce in each cartoon, in each figure. That is, and then on top of that, he's uncomfortable. Come on, man.
An irradiation of strength so monumental and outpouring that few men on the earth below could match them for power. Each one had to be pushed out of his artistic womb, pushed out by his own articulate friends. He must gather within himself his galvanic might.
Oh, I love that phrase. He must gather within himself his galvanic might. I mean, yo, like it's like it puts into words how truly colossal and monumental the work of Michelangelo is in the Sistine Chapel. It's something that you can't compare. I don't think Leonardo would have done it, to be quite honest with you. As great as Leonardo was, he wasn't the scrapper that Michelangelo was.
His burgeoning seed must be generated each day anew within his vitals, hurled into space, projected onto the ceiling, given life everlasting. Though he was creating God the Father, he himself was God the Mother, source of a noble breed.
Thank you, Aber Auma, for the donation. Appreciate it.
Half man, half God, inseminated each night by his own creative fertility, carrying until the dawn, and then on his lonely truckle bed high in the heavens, going through parturition to deliver a race of immortals. God Almighty, creating the sun and the moon, the earth and the water, the plants, the cattle, the crawling things, man and woman, even he had been exhausted from this torrential creativity. God saw all that he...
You got to realize that the dude worked 20-hour days on the system. 20-hour days. 20-hour days. 20-hour days. Michelangelo even said that I cannot give you a subpar product even if you asked for it. It just wasn't in his DNA. How could you even compare to that? It's just incomprehensible.
He had made and found it very good. But on the seventh day, he had come to an end of making and rested. Why then should he, Michelangelo Buonarroti, a small man, only 5'4", weighing 100 pounds, no heavier than one of Florence's society girls, laboring for months without adequate food and rest, why should he not be exhausted? When he prayed, "Dear God, help..."
Thank you, Leilani, for the donation. Appreciate it.
Help me. He was praying to himself, beseeching himself to have fortitude, to be invincible of body and spirit, to have the stamina and will to create mightily in a vision of a more heroic world. For 30 days he painted from light to darkness, completing the sacrifice of Noah, the 4 titanic male nudes surrounding it, the Erythraean Sibyl on her throne, and the prophet Isaiah in the pendentive opposite, returning home at night to enlarge the cartoon of the Garden of Eden. For 30 days he slept in his clothes without taking off even his boots. And when at the completion of the section, utterly spent, he had Miki pull his boots off for him, the skin came away with them. He fed off himself. When he grew dizzy from standing and painting with his head and shoulders thrown back, his neck arched so that he could peer straight upward, his arms aching in every joint from the vertical effort, his eyes blurred from the dripping paint, even though he had learned to paint through slits and to blink them shut with each brushstroke, as he did against flying marble.
I cannot comprehend this, man. Like, not only is he painting with his neck, but also he's going partly blind because the paint is falling on his fucking eyes. And he will do that 20 hours a day. Damn. You can't. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just crazy.
The fourth on top of the scaffolding. He painted sitting down, his thighs drawn up tight against his belly for balance, his eyes a few inches from the ceiling, until the unpadded bones of his buttocks became so bruised and sore he could no longer endure the agony. Then he lay flat on his back, his knees in the air, doubled over as tightly as possible against his chest to steady his painting arm. Since he no longer bothered to shave, his beard became an excellent catch-all for the constant drip of paint and water. No matter which way he leaned, crouched, lay, or knelt, on his feet, knees, or back, it was always in strain. Then he thought he was going blind. A letter arrived from Buonarrota, and when he tried to read it, he could see nothing but a blur. He put the letter down, washed his face, ate a few forkfuls of the overcooked pasta Miki had made for him, went back to the letter. He could not decipher a word. He threw himself on his bed, sorely beset. What was he doing to himself? He had refused to paint the simple commission the Pope had requested, and now he would come out of this chapel a gnarled, twisted, ugly, blind dwarf, deformed and aged by his own colossal stupidity. What Torrigiani had done to his face, the vault would do to his body. He would carry its scars to his dying day. Why couldn't he have let well enough alone? He would have made his peace with the Pope, been back in Florence long since, enjoying dinner with the company of the Cauldron, living in his comfortable house, carving the Hercules. Sleepless, racked with pain, homesick, lonely, he rose in the inky blackness, lit a candle, and on the back of an old sketch tried to lighten his mood by pouring out his woes. I've grown a goiter by dwelling in this den, as cats from stagnant streams in Lombardy, or in what other land that...
It's just like, I listen to this, man, and it just fuels me with passion and more desire to become better, man, because you see, listen to this, and you're like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? In just 4 years, Michelangelo did the work of 20 different artists. One dude. Come on, man. Come on. Like, that is an artist, man. It's just too much, man. It's just too much.
They have to be, which drives the belly close beneath the chin. My beard turns up to heaven, my nape falls in. Fixed on my spine, my breastbone visibly grows like a harp. A rich embroidery bedews my face from brush drops thick and thin. My loins into my paunch like levers grind.
Thank you, Sapphire, for the $10 donation. Appreciate it.
My buttock like a crupper bears my weight. My feet unguided wander to and fro. In front my skin grows loose and long. Behind, by bending it becomes more taut and straight.
So who's getting old?
Crosswise I stray me like a Syrian bow. Come then, try to succor my dead pictures, my fame, since foul I fare, and painting is my shame. Word reached him that his brother, Leonardo, had died in a monastery in Pisa. There was no information as to why he had been moved to Pisa, or whether he had been buried there, or the nature of his illness. But as Michelangelo walked to San Lorenzo in Damaso to have a mass said for the repose of Leonardo's soul,
it's just like, and I just think that we all need to find that one thing that we could sacrifice our beings for, like we need to find what that is individually. You know, that one thing that you could do for hours and then give up everything of yourself for. You know, like, it's important to find what that is, because this is what gives you life, man. You know, having, 1 second. Fuck you. I don't want a goddamn room phone broker. 1 second, people. You know, and I listen to that, and it's just, it feels like I'm there. It feels like I'm listening to all of that, and like, you can see the sacrifice to be that great. And mind you, he's not even a painter. He's a sculptor. He's a fucking sculptor. His profession is a sculptor. Like, think about that. Michelangelo, just think about this, right? It's fascinating. The dude was painting for around 4 years, and then he stopped. He began from 14 to 18, I believe, and stopped. 15 years later, he was told to create the Sistine Chapel. You want to know why? Because Leonardo, he had a competition with Leonardo, and he hated Leonardo because Leonardo was talking shit on the sculptors. So he was like, fuck you, I'm gonna show you I'm a better painter than you, even though it's not my profession. And apparently he did a good job, and to the point where he got the Pope's attention. And then the Pope was like, I want him to paint the Sistine Chapel. So his stupidity, his desire to beat Leonardo, got him to the fucking Pope. That's like the president, right? And he was forced to create the Sistine Chapel. And he was like, dude, I haven't painted in 15 years. It is not my trade. And the Pope was like, well, it is your trade now. And reluctantly, he was forced to do something he hasn't done in 15 years. And he hit it out the fucking park. He was forced to do something that's not even his profession, and he creates the second greatest work of art. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. And not even that. Just think about that. He created the second greatest painting. And then on top of that, he also created one, to me, the best sculptor. And I'm not much of a sculptor, but he was David. And then he created Bacchus, the god of wine, which is fucking gangster looking, man. And then he created more. I mean, he created the best in sculpture and in painting. Come on, man. Like, that's incomprehensible, man. I just wish I could just have like a scintilla of that greatness. Not even greatness, a scintilla of that passion that he has for art, man. I just wish I could have a little bit of that, man. Anyways, people, this is Alex from Mindful Attraction. Thank you everyone for the donation. Really appreciate all of the support. I'm going to the guys channel right now. Deuces.